anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. As we are all here and we have no one on Zoom, we can do roll call just by going around the table. All here. Kate here. Steve.
Here.
Right.
Here.
And we're also joined by one member of the public and Joe as manager. Thank you. The first item on the agenda after roll call is public comments. Hearing none, moving right.
Second. April.
Oh, I think I will just.
Deb or Deborah?
Meanwhile,
Debbie, okay.
I.e.
if you would
All right,
state your name.
Debbie Lincoln, 46 Hemlock Drive, and I have two comments, if you wouldn't mind. First one
Please.
is just brief. I would like to thank the tech crew who manfully dealt with a Castus issue for talking baseball. Did a great workaround and did a wonderful production, despite the fact that they really had an issue with Castus.
Oh, TriCaster.
TriCaster.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't tell me about it.
Well, they worked around, it was fantastic.
hmm,
So they did
well, good for
really
them.
good job.
You sat there with the hot lights for half an hour, shooting their nails.
LEDs don't get hot.
They got hot, waiting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'd like to thank the crew.
So
David
thank you
John.
for that. I said I'd say thank you.
So my other thing is that I know that Eric has been working on getting a call-in program ready, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. Drake It, I know some of you went to the Drake It studio. They recently had a 3-day telethon at their studio to raise money for their schools, Dollars for Scholars, and I have some information on it. They raised $156,000 at this telethon. They had school children performing, they had a number of donations. And I just thought I would bring this information to you. I know that we obviously not start that high, but it's a wonderful program and they've been doing it for 25 years.
Wow.
So obviously they didn't start that high. In 1980, they just gave 20 scholarships, just totaling 8,000, and they're up to 156,000. So I brought this information, I can pass it around, but I think
Go ahead, you keep talking.
I think that it's something that, since Eric has been wanting to do something live, that you could aspire, start small, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Which is one step better than thank you.
All right. So
Thank you
Reminds
for doing
me, for some reason, when you were talking, it made me think of community auditions, remember?
Yes.
Maybe that's what we would be.
Well, anybody from the community could come and offer an act as part of this, but they had the school children in particular participate, and then of course people call in and my daughter-in-law and son got us tickets to see the Beatles, Ultimate Beatles show. They won, and people bid on things that are donated, so.
They have all kinds of raffles from town donate stuff and they run raffles.
So, just something to think about. I know obviously we don't have this kind of technology that the Drake It Studio has, but start small and look at it done in just a few
We're
years.
not far behind in technology, well, we are far behind. in
As far as phone in,
resources.
as far as phone in for a
Yeah.
telephone.
So, but it's certainly interesting.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just bring that up and thank you all for the good work you do and good luck with the budget.
Thank
And I will leave you all now to your own devices or vices, whatever.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So you can pass that along. I think it's.
Okay.
Any
Hold on.
further public comments? Hearing none, are there any committee comments?
I have two. One, praising Steve for excellent presentation of the budget.
Oh, me, not that one, sorry.
I'm looking at you.
Thank you.
I thought that presentation was excellent. And
I have fun doing this.
detailed, I know you do. But, it was very easy to follow and very calmly presented and I enjoyed it. And I don't,
Oh, really?
I'm aware you, so it was fun to watch. Secondly,
Thank you.
if you remember, I was asking last meeting about joining the master plan. I went before the planning board and they welcomed me with open arms.
Really?
Unbelievable. They couldn't.
You mean the
be-
master planning, board, you don't mean the planning
The
board.
planning board picks the master plan.
Oh,
So I applied as a member at large.
Okay.
And they said they really needed someone to represent Pacc.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
So it's.
Well, I'm glad
they
you
were
went
really- They were almost excited about it.
And what committee is this again, please?
master plan.
Planning board.
I'll correct it in a minute. It's called the Master Plan Steering Committee.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, I knew it was something.
Master Plan Steering Committee.
Well,
I think almost every committee was invited to participate. And some did and some didn't.
you invited us.
I was, they were amazed at that. They said it must have been an oversight. Because they're talking about how increasingly Pacc is playing a role in this town.
Yeah.
I mentioned that 40 years ago, when I first signed the 1986 access, the cable company. 40 years ago, there was no cable in this town,
Right.
zero, 40 years.
So there wasn't a
A little bit.
Smoke signals are great though.
indoor plan.
So you figure incrementally, what's gonna be like in another 20 years.
Yeah.
So to be representative as a voice on that, I think would be great for us.
We should have
Well, thank you
eliminated
for
all our
all-
personnel and do it all with artificial intelligence.
And it's good that they see Pacc as being integral to the
Yeah.
future of the town.
More, Pete's exactly right. We're hearing that.
And thank
More
you
and
for
more.
volunteering,
Yes, I do appreciate that.
representing us. I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Actually, Steve, I'm wondering whether we shouldn't put on the agenda as a standing item to give Pete an opportunity to.
Sure,
report to
well, that
us
would be
on-
community comment. You can do it under that.
No, actually, it's a report.
Okay,
It's,
so that would be
comment on his-
a
But yes, I'm.
master put, okay.
At this point, they're still meeting, they're meeting once a month. So there's
Okay.
something to say what they're doing.
First Monday of every month.
No.
The next meeting's on a Friday,
Next
I
meeting
think.
is on Friday. It's gonna be the last one on Friday. We've already determined that.
Oh.
Yeah, who does Fridays?
Josie had to fit it in somewhere.
Kelsey put out, pick a time to go.
I said, what else?
And we got, she had picked Friday, and I said, who does she know? That has no life.
Yes, right.
Friday night.
I don't have much of a.
I mean, we do go do our grocery shopping on Fridays, you know, Friday, everyone else sit in the bars and the restaurants. but- Grocery store, or the malls, yeah. But that's still a life, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for all that, Pete. Do we have any further committee comments?
I have a question, it's more about the appropriate place, I wanted to chat for a minute. At some point about the request of Pacc doing a short Pacc PSA. So would it be more appropriate to ask the question when we talk about the minutes or
No.
bring it up now?
No,
Yeah,
it would be better to ask Jo when she gets to talk about it.
okay. I didn't know it was on the agenda, is it?
No, it
Well-
doesn't need to be if it's in Jo's manager's
Report.
report.
It's under
It's from the minutes from last meeting, that's.
H74 S34 update, because it has to do with PSA for that.
Yeah, that's what it is for.
That's on the agenda.
Yeah, so.
So either her report or that.
Gotcha.
Not trying to stop you.
No, I
Just
want
trying to
to put
stay
it in
in
the
line.
appropriate slot.
Oh, you
That's
problem
why
is
he has
Steve
to.
smacks us around the head when we get the procedure. That's why I don't sit next to him.
You're on the table. It's all good. That's it.
I'm afraid of you.
Any further committee comments? Communications, anybody have any communications other than me? Hearing none, I got an email from one Heather Lemieux, who actually went through our spreadsheet. For which, when I responded to her, I said, thank you for doing that, because I suspect very few other people did.
Mhm.
And it was just the way it was put together. The number at the end of the day was correct. And the number in the presentation was correct. And actually, the presentation is the one that matters. The spreadsheet is a worksheet. So in the summary on the presentation, our total budget was both operations and the 30,000 for the capital. So it was 208,000 and something and $77, 14.75 or whatever it came to. So we're all good, but she did question me, and I was absolutely amazed that somebody got that far. And we're still where we need to be, so I did have that communication.
Well, that's comforting.
Actually, one year, I think, I'm not sure if you were on, this was a while back, they forgot to put our capital in.
Mm.
And we had to go through a bunch of stuff
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
to have reserve capital in our name from the town's reserve capital.
Didn't we have to go through town meeting?
No, we have to go
That's
through
went
the
to the
next town.
finance committee, we
Oh,
went to the finance committee,
Yeah, but we then had to go through the next town meeting. to
right?
yeah,
Reset it, but it was just in case we had a catastrophic failure.
right,
So,
which, thank goodness.
any further communications, hearing none, we can move right along. Review and approve the meeting minutes from 3/11. Of which I believe everybody has at least one comment.
Oh,
Please,
no,
Go
I don't
ahead.
have any comments.
oh, I thought you
I
did.
read it and I thought it looked good. Well,
Okay,
why should we have a comment?
well, because I found things.
Well, then you
Those
can
were my
comment.
Easter eggs.
He always puts something in to make sure people read it.
You bet.
You put a spelling error in the last but one sentence.
I did that last time too.
Meanwhile, I thought we met at the studio.
We did. You know what? That's a good point. You know what I do? I copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
But you do a good job of
Like
it.
some other people.
So having said that, that means Faith showed up by Zoom.
Know what?
She was there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, I was in
That's
Zoom.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's two strikes.
Wow.
Go for it.
And I have, actually, I prefer this name. Under committee comments, the first line, the master planning committee.
Oh.
The,
Planning for goals?
It's the master plan steering
I
committee.
kind of like the way you put
Plan.
it. I thought that
Master
was-
plan steering committee,
Okay,
that's what they're technically.
Not planning, plan.
Yep, that's okay.
Master
and
plan.
steering, add steering.
Master plan.
Master plan
Master plan.
steering committee.
Planning is what videographers do with cameras.
And mine is for goals.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Short.
That was right.
And people like that.
And then the last but one bullet on that page
Yes.
And,
has a calendar, which is what I use to get water off spaghetti. And it should be a,
That's good.
Colin.
Colin.
oh, yes, that's the one.
With his British accent, he says Colin.
Colin.
Probably why I wrote
that's
that.
what the British style.
Go ahead, keep going.
Over the page, if you look right down at the bottom, past the line that says meetings.
Yep.
That's all I've got, nothing. It's that big open space, it's good. You have everything.
Yeah,
There's nothing on that page.
I have it.
No, there's no errors, no.
Actually, there is.
No pencil marks.
All right.
There should be a
Where?
comment after,
What?
or. No, we didn't, you don't need a comment here after.
What have you been
meetings.
doing at 5 o'clock, Steve?
They come up.
Yeah,
Throwing this.
What's the other one, Paul?
There's actually two more, so.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
At
really?
the end of the meeting's bullet, there is a punctuation mark that shouldn't be there. like-
Right, we just corrected that one.
And then the word presentation on the final bullet under the FY 25 budget is the typo.
Oh, yeah.
Presentation.
oh, yeah, you know, the eye wants to just fix things.
Everyone needs a proofreader, and
Obviously, I've turned
Giving
off.
very
the
graciously,
check
very for me,
No, it's not gonna pick up colander, it's gonna say, that's
on.
correct.
Presentation should have.
Yeah,
I read through my stuff 6, 7, 8, 10 times and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I will,
Read it backwards.
Mm,
That's how you check spelling, because it's out of context.
all right,
The second bullet under committee comments, did we get that typo as well?
yes,
Okay.
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah.
sure whether we.
no, we didn't, but I will fix it.
The
Wow.
cloud manager.
Meta, no, that's me.
Wow,
That means
motion
mother.
to
It
accept
also is
Mother
the,
planning,
as.
Mother-
I'm not joining that committee.
no.
it's also the tow truck in the cars, business cars, tow Meta. So. We good? Any further comments on the minutes? I will entertain a motion to
I make a motion to accept,
second,
the minutes as amended.
Second.
further discussion, hearing none, all those in favor,
Are-
being unanimous, thank you. Still trying to get out of here by 6:20.
Management.
Manager's monthly report.
Okay, let's see, we are now at 108 programs.
Wow, that's great.
Last year, we did 109 in total, and then we had 3 more months left.
Wow.
So that's the
Oh,
good
you mean
news.
fiscal year, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
75, no, 76% are local. So that's great, and our informational meetings continue to grow. We added, I don't know if I mentioned this last meeting, we added a show called Gaming Buddies. Matt Monroe and Connor Garrity do video games,
Oh, really?
and that's it.
And we pay them to play video
We
games.
pay them to play video games and
Yeah, that's a
record it.
good idea.
But they have really good rapport and it's good conversation and it's all PG video games, so it's almost. It's interesting, I thought, so we have that
Oh,
new
oh,
show,
Frisbee, okay, great.
and also.
They have a disc golf game, I can.
I said,
Yeah.
it's cool.
And they all, Matt also does the new podcast that we have, I don't know if I mentioned that.
So you started
time.
doing that?
Podcast is going, they've had their second episode,
Okay,
yeah, which should be coming on soon.
this is actually a video podcast, but
Not a video podcast, 2 different things, Gaming Buddies is video,
no, but you said you were doing the podcast.
and the podcast
Yeah, that's
is
video as well.
football,
Just audio.
video and audio,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
no, podcasts often are just audio.
Your birds show,
Right.
what's that? I know it sounds stupid, but I mean, what it says here that you have a show.
It's not a show, it's just a short like video. I had my security cameras capture, I had a wreath hanging on the door and birds built a nest in it and then they dropped their 6 eggs and then they brought them and brought them up and they all flew away in the air.
Oh, wow.
It's cute, so birds birthing is the name of it.
Yeah, we ran that,
Yeah.
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 I was
Oh, that's good.
looking at
It's
the
not-
list
it's not
of
like a-
shows.
A weekly show or anything like
Yeah.
that. Oh, I put that same wreath back and I think they're gonna come back. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna Do a sequel,
What was it called?
birds birthing,
Yeah, it's number 5 in the program.
it's on my YouTube channel. You can't find it there, feel like it.
okay, we have 2 big meetings coming up, one in April, one in May, those are the water district meetings.
Oh,
The April meeting, they're both at the high school auditorium. The April meeting is on PFAS. And the May meeting is a vote on Hickory Hills work that's gonna be done.
The first one, I believe, is at the water department, the one.
There's
the
gonna
that's
be
just
one,
got moved to the 11th.
right, that was for employees.
But we're not
This is for the
videoing it?
community. Yeah, I have Kayla going to do that one,
Okay,
but that's a single camera,
yeah,
yeah. But if
Okay.
it's in the auditorium,
No, I thought it was.
it's gonna be a little bit bigger than that,
Oh, you mean another one?
yeah.
Okay,
Are they both in the high school? auditorium?
No, one, there's one for employees on the 11th of April, and there's one on April 25th for the community.
And the main one?
The April 25th is at the high school auditorium.
The Hickory Hill one is April 25th.
April, no, the
May.
Hickory Hills is May,
I don't need the date.
I
you
don't
said
have
at
the
high
date.
school auditorium.
that's in May at the high school auditorium,
That's all I wanted.
yeah.
Okay, it's,
talking of the auditorium, I see there's fifth graders again. Are we doing that one?
I didn't know about it.
They're doing the fifth graders.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah, oh. It was in the Lunenburg Ledger.
I'll have to talk to,
I just was concerned if you'd missed it. Because
I did miss it, I didn't know about that.
I don't know what they've done for advertising. It's a good time. If we have the ATM and everything's working, that's an excellent time to test it, if you remember.
Yes. Okay, I'll look into that.
Stevie chose the water one you're talking about on May 13th. 4 o'clock.
I don't have it with me. Is it in that package?
Yes,
I have May's calendar in there.
oh, that's March. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, man.
I have March and April in there,
Oh,
yeah. We received our ARPA order for the studio. So we just have to go through unpacking. Doing all that work. So that'll be done over this week,
It's my idea of fun.
yeah. Um. The, there's a employee newsletter that I've been writing articles for in March and April. March, this goes out to townwide employees, if you have a townwide, if you're on the email for the townwide employees, then you get this. But March was communications and media improvements underway at public access. And then I did an employee spotlight on Dan Seminator for April. So you can check those out, and I'm due to write an article for May's newsletter. Okay, so the other thing is the H74 video. We created it, it went out to the representatives and senator of the committee on Friday, I believe it went out.
Okay,
I was gonna bring it here tonight, I should have brought my computer. I will send you the link to it after the meeting. But it's roughly 2 minutes, and it's just everyone talking about how important public access is to them.
totally unbiased view.
Yeah.
Well,
Good, thank you.
it did the trick. So we have all these programs, and we're doing really, really well. And as a result, our payroll for videographers has been depleted practically in that line item.
Okay,
I need to do a line item transfer yesterday.
okay,
We currently have about 24,600 in our capital line item. I was hoping we could take about, well, at bare minimum, 12,800 out of that. I was going to suggest 15 to get us through the rest of the
15,000 or
15,000.
good try.
To get us through the rest, because 3 more months. we average about, left it at home. We average around 2780 a month, but not this month, but last month we were at 40, well, I have it here. We were at 4,800 for videographers last month. The meetings are running long. The videographers are bringing in material constantly. It's all good news, but we've
Except for the
depleted
finances.
the money.
Okay, so,
Where were you thinking of transferring it from?
yeah,
Well, I would really like to transfer it from our capital, which has about 24,600 If we took the 15, that would leave us with 9 something.
And what were you planning on spending the capital on?
Yeah.
That's primarily there
emergency.
for catastrophic failure.
Right, but I'm just doing it so it's reported that way.
yeah,
So we're just gonna take a chance and if we have a catastrophic failure, we would then have to come back and figure out what to do.
Well,
Or-
the problem with catastrophic failure is we can't change the bottom line of our budget
that's what I was,
without a town meeting. And that's interestingly in May, so that's only actually 5 weeks away.
now, in the budget for the next fiscal year that you've been through the process, is the amount for videography, has that been increased
Yes.
sufficiently?
It has been increased. I think we went into this year at
7,
27 and next year's 37.
33.
Yeah,
It has been a very interesting spring. There's been a lot going on. The forecast is there's probably gonna be a lot going on next spring. The vibes that I hear is there's a possibility that the building committee might have a proposal. There's a possibility of an override. Who knows what's happening with the tax situation, because there's still repercussions from last year and this year. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying that it's probably going to be another busy spring season.
Mm.
In the water department with the PFAS and Hickory Hills, things are gonna get. I don't see any of those things resolving by the end of May. So they're gonna, right, so I know you're gonna have more committee meetings probably.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just
It's-
saying there,
Right now,
from what I
You're
see,
saying the videographer hours are gonna get worse.
Right,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying these are things that I'm hearing might be happening in the spring.
Mhm.
Which would mean another, once again, late meetings or extra meetings.
right, we're already stretched. I mean, we have enough videographers, that's not the problem. But a lot of videographers have other jobs.
Mhm.
So when I try to book them, that one person can't make it, they have another gig, another person can't make it, they have another gig. So I'm dependent on, a lot of times senior videographers who get paid more
Right.
and who are very reliable and should be used.
Mhm.
But it's a real juggling act to make the schedule every month.
Mm.
Right.
It's a real juggling act.
Are we required to provide video of every single committee meeting in town, subcommittee, task force, et cetera? Or are we able to prioritize, pick and choose which ones we do and
Good
don't do?
question.
Well, if there's a request, I try to cover it. For instance, the Green Community Task Force, they do Zoom meetings, so we don't have to cover them. Stormwater Task Force does Zoom meetings, we don't have to cover them. APDC has gone to Zoom meetings. or, well, no, in person, but they Zoom it and they're happy with that. So most,
Just mean.
there's a handful, right, in this meeting, and there's a handful of meetings that we don't cover. But the ones that we do are, they really are prioritized. I mean,
Okay.
especially,
Well, right now, they're going really late,
they're going,
to midnight, some of them are going to midnight.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Like select board meetings.
and I
And
don't,
then they have to take the video and they have to
edit it.
upload, no, they're not allowed to.
Oh,
do that.
that's right, you know.
But
yeah.
they have to put it in the format and do whatever.
What
Yeah,
happens
night.
is I wait up
Yeah,
for the meeting to end. And then I download it from Castis to my computer and turn around and upload it to YouTube. From my computer, and then I go to bed.
Yeah. it's
Let
quick.
let
The next
YouTube
day-
go overnight.
Right, cause I'll see like a select board meeting on Wednesday morning, get posted to your YouTube channel, so it's
Yeah,
quick.
but that was done at night,
Yeah,
Right.
started at night.
but the real issue we're trying to understand is. Joe's saying we're going to run over our budget for
Right.
videographers. Joe's arguing successfully, in my opinion, that we have to do that.
Yeah.
The the only place that apparently has enough money would be the Capitol. What I think we might want to do, there's 30,000 in there, and if,
It's 24/6.
oh,
I used,
24, I'm
I
sorry.
used 4,400 to go into equipment maintenance and supplies, which now is dwindling down to $1,700.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to suggest, rather than moving 15 out of it, I guess it doesn't matter. See, if we move 15 out of it, that leaves less than 10. That doesn't cover failure of the casters. We know because we've done that already.
What about the interest that we made on, I mean, I understand it's
We
better.
don't have access to it. It's not
Oh,
in our
okay.
budget. That's the other
I
problem.
understand, he knows the budget, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we decided now we wanted to put the videographer budget up for the next financial year, we can't. Because it's already been through FinCom and
Yeah.
all the rest of it.
okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, I know, that's on,
A lot of things happen.
trying to answer
Okay,
it for
but,
itself.
but with her, Joe's motion, I'm wondering if, you know, we're looking for a source for the money.
Yeah,
What if we did a one-time take interest from our account that we have?
we can't, we're not allowed to.
not allowed to.
It's not in our budget. We
Oh.
have an approved budget.
It's holding the money for the studio.
Well,
We-
aside from that, it's not approved by town meeting.
Capital.
Okay,
Our bottom line is our problem
all
line.
right, so you can only
I-
do line
I
item
understand you're being
transfers.
creative.
To take
trying to
10
find-
Yeah.
out
If
of
we
the
leave
cap,
10,
Okay, I
leave
didn't
10,
know
then
that.
No.
then that would be, that could bring us through to the finish line. Take out 14,900 and leave in
How
10,
much?
14,900
Oh, so
and
leave
leave in
10.
10.
because that's the cast.
Well, the other thing I was wondering is if we moved 5,000 per month rather than taking it all out at the same time. To give us a better chance if we did have a failure, we may have to cut back on videographer hours. In particular, if the casters has failed, we can't use the videographers the same. I'm just trying to balance it out.
Right, I'm
mentally,
just-
See what I'm doing?
I'm just wondering if that would be frowned upon in
That
with
was my
the
question.
town accountant, they would much rather have you do one
Really?
line item transfer than line item transfers every month.
I have a question about the bookkeeping. I think I know the answer, but I think I'm gonna ask it anyways because in my past careers in department head, it was very useful. We were allowed to go over budget in a given line. So rather than saying, oh, I wanna move our money out of capital to cover the videographer expense, I would overdraw a line. I would overdraw the videographer expense, for example, if I was doing it this way. Which would document for the following year's creation of the budget, that you need more money in that line, okay? As long as you didn't go over budget in your bottom line, you were
Right.
allowed to do that. Apparently, that's not acceptable with the town.
Our vehicle is to move it from an existing line, for exactly the reason you just said. The bottom line is sacrosanct.
Could we do 10,000? And then in 2 months, if we need to move more, we could.
That's a compromise.
Well, Joe, that's why I was saying.
Right. Instead of 5,000 a month, we kind of do 2 months.
Well, presumably some of these meetings that are going berserk at the
We're gonna
moment,
end.
Yeah,
will stop behaving like that after the town meeting.
That's the hope. That's the hope in my house.
But then we
Yeah,
still
no,
have,
but
but then we still have assignments and
Right.
events and.
No, but we won't be
So
having
forth.
meetings going to
Right,
midnight to
right.
resolve. So I'm saying the history you have of recent months. For the rest of May and June is unlikely to be typical.
Is it possible, I don't know if you have the numbers for May and June of last year? Is that-
I
Oh, I
don't
probably-
have them on me, but
probably
I
have.
do have them.
I was just.
While you're digging for that, another question is, in any given year,
But you have it.
any unexpended funds in a line account, for example, in the capital account.
mhm.
At the closeout of the fiscal year, what happens to those unexpended
They
funds?
go into our enterprise fund.
Okay, so we don't have to give that back to the town.
Oh, no, we
It's our money to begin with.
trust me, if we had to do that, we would be running a very
That'd be in
different
it.
style of
This is last year.
financial management. Hey, that looks like a
Where it
full
might be in
presentation.
It would be in the
I,
top,
I don't think it's in there monthly, I think it's
it
there.
would be
annually.
in here. This isn't the one, this is
Mhm.
February.
Can you read 2-point type?
Nope, nope. I gotta find.
Page before that. Oh, page after it. So what are you doing with that there?
No, we don't have it on this page. This is the page.
I can easily grab it, on my computer.
Keep talking out. Yeah. I have this all by month.
If we have a reasonable expectation that the midnight meetings will ease up, I would be comfortable with Steve's suggestion of take 10 now
Mhm.
and review it at our meeting, our meeting in June. Would that work for you?
It works for me, I just have to see Heather to see if it works for her.
So can we have a motion
Yes,
to move
I
the
make a
10,000,
So I'm not
pending
going-
Or you,
approval of the town manager?
From capital to
Yeah, go.
videographers' salaries. Did you get all that, Steve?
I'm going to. You're gonna say it again.
The guy only got two hands.
I can, it's right, I did find the April thing, but,
I second that motion.
so who did it
He's
first?
only got 2 hands?
I make a motion, to, request the.
What's the line item
Transfer
transfer?
Yeah.
Make a line item transfer from capital, improvements,
to vid-
No, new
That's just
equipment / capital.
new equipment / capital, to, videographer
salaries,
salaries, in the amount of $10,000.
subject to.
Subject to the approval of the town manager.
Yeah, so.
I love the way you do it.
To be reviewed
To be reviewed.
in June.
Wait, no, wait, salaries, $10,000, pending, what did you say?
Pending,
Town
pending
manager
town
approval.
manager.
Pending town approval.
Town
Town
manager.
manager approval, not the town.
So I have,
I'll revisit it.
Paul made a motion to request line item transfer from new equipment capital to videographer salaries of, it should request
It's actually payroll videographers, just
Payroll, okay.
FYI.
To payroll videographer. Is it just payroll
No, payroll videographers.
videographers? of $10,000 pending town manager approval. Let me read it again. To request a line item transfer from new equipment capital to payroll videographers of $10,000 pending town manager approval. Is that,
Sounds good.
That's the
Now,
motion for
who are
which.
we requesting to move it? Is Joe gonna be doing the moving? or
Oh,
is
yeah,
it-
that's
Right
a
there.
standard process.
Yeah, I have a form.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's all.
That's good.
It'll get signed by the town manager
Wait.
and the
We do,
finance director.
we do need a second.
Yep, Faith did.
I know, but everyone has to know that you're the
Oh.
second, you see.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion? And I have one question. I'm trying not to embarrass you here. Because of what happened with your status, isn't your salary less than it's been in previous years at this point? I'm wondering if there's money in there as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
I can tell you,
apologize, but
I
I'm
can-
just trying to put it on the.
I can tell you how much money is in there.
She had,
That's.
There's
Right.
20. I have to rerun these numbers. But there's about 22,000
Left
left in
for 3 months.
for 3 months. Two
That
people.
means,
I
so-
wouldn't touch it.
No, but we should be able to calculate.
Yeah,
We should be able to work out how much we need. I'm just wondering if there's some from there, rather than taking it all out of capital, just because of circumstances. I'm not picking, you know, we've apologized. to
why
people.
doesn't the committee take a second look at a line item transfer? And what's left in in my salary line
In the next meeting?
in the
Is
next
meeting
round?
Next meeting soon enough?
May.
Yeah, with
Oh,
the
that's-
10,000 infusion,
In that case,
that might be 2 months worth. We'd probably have to look in May,
yeah,
okay,
so it's already April, yeah.
right.
And if things slow down enough, you'll be able to tell if there's enough money.
I'll be able to
Oh,
tell.
that's even better. In which case, I don't know if I'm out of order, but if I am, Steve will tell me very quickly. Can we table this to our May
She
meeting?
needs to make that transfer.
yeah.
Yesterday, she said.
I have to make that
Oh,
transfer.
well, that's the way I said.
That will be out of money and all the checks will bounce.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you
No,
just said
All
it
due
was okay.
respect,
I
yeah.
can't do it. I thought you just said it would be okay to do it in May.
It'd be okay to do the second look at it in May.
To see what, if they need
Oh.
more in May. It's.
And you will know by
10,000
May
now.
whether, because things will
Okay.
calm down.
In that case, why don't we move the number to 5,000?
All right, I move the question.
The initial transfer to
Yeah.
5,000?
Because it's for 1 month.
Oh,
Okay, no, wait a minute.
we have a $10,000
This
transfer
got-
right now on the.
this Kind of got
We do.
complicated. It started out to be looking at just the videographer's payroll. And then you brought up the question about a piece of it is covering Joe's salary. So we kind of got to a place where we agreed to
Yeah,
put money aside, if needed for the payroll videographers and revisit that in June.
yeah,
Then when you
Right.
brought your question up about Joe's thing, that conflates everything and makes it a little bit more murky in my mind.
mine too.
I agree.
It's very clear in my mind.
Okay, he called the question, so
We
what you
should
do, you
vote
vote
on,
right away, right?
well,
The motion that
is
Paul
to
made.
request a line item transfer from new equipment capital to payroll videographers of 10,000 pending town manager approval. I just, we need
Yeah.
to.
Good.
Yes
You
or
need
no,
to
if you
take
wanna
a
say
vote.
no, you can always say no on it and we come up with something else.
Well, it's gonna be, just as a note, side note, it's gonna be a very long town meeting this year. Very long.
Well, I don't think so, just because the schools run out of money.
The town is wrong.
Oh, yeah, the towns run out of
Town
money.
is wrong.
The pitchforks are so.
The problem is not just this.
Yeah, that's what, of course, we have 4 videographers. So that's not-
Here we go,
Get me for free.
fiscal
Yeah.
21.
Okay, question being called. We can always
Yeah,
review things at our next
Right.
meeting, but we'll be better prepared, so.
You need 2 years after that.
And having not heard any
Okay,
further
do we-
discussion,
do we
I
need to
can
put it
take
on
the
the
vote.
agenda for next meeting?
No, but
that's
one thing at a time.
Okay,
we can
sorry.
vote. No, I'm just trying to make sure that we don't lose
Yeah,
right.
focus.
So we're voting on the motion, which Steve has read 3 times, and it's
Yeah.
almost the same every time he reads it.
Almost.
It is the same every time he reads it. So by show of hands, all those in favour,
Aye.
that's been unanimous.
Now we can talk about the other piece, or we can talk about it in the month.
I'm not sure, yes, I was to say, I'm not sure we need to talk about it now, because
So now,
we have the concept, but we don't have the numbers, so I'll work with Joe on
my
the numbers.
question was, should we put it as a separate agenda item, or should Joe report back on how the trend of videographer hours in her report?
It's in her reports.
Yeah,
That's the
can
best
I
way.
can add it up. from there.
Okay,
But that was good to bring up.
I got a question for Joe.
Yeah,
You video committees that you're asked to do,
most of them.
about 6 months ago, Tom Alonso stated in public that he thought all committees should be covered.
I heard him say that.
COA does not want to be covered. The 300th committee does not want to be covered. Has anybody thought about renewing an owl concept? Save money on videos.
the what?
The owl.
The APPC does the owl at the Ritter. It's located at the Ritter. Yeah.
Would it help you to have more owls?
Is that ours? It's not ours, though, right?
No, it's not ours, it's the town's.
What is
Yeah,
it?
okay.
videos.
It sets on the table.
No,
It's on video.
I mean. It certainly would be fine with me. If committees wanted to do that. But most people I talk to say, can you be there? We need you there, even when there's an owl involved, sometimes. Plus,
Does you take an owl video and put it up?
I
as
do,
Ours? Okay.
I do.
didn't know that, yeah.
yeah,
Is it difficult?
no. I mean, if a committee wanted to do that, then I would be fine with that.
I'm curious, why doesn't the 300th anniversary want the publicity or whatever for their meetings?
We meet very erratically, 3 months, 5 months at this point,
Oh,
maybe
okay,
the last year.
yeah, okay,
It's still a millennium away.
yeah.
It's still open to the public, okay?
Of course.
Yeah, that's what I assume. So, Joe, why don't you, the owls are what, 1,200?
I don't recall the price.
You can get it for 1,000 or 2,000 the ones I looked at. It's,
Well, I was just gonna get one and see if we can persuade a random committee to start using it. To say video.
Well, they can use the Ritter at any time. There's no reason for us to buy one.
Well, I was thinking we might not have to do some meetings that we presently do, which we often. I don't mind if you don't.
But the
wanna buy
town
one.
offers it already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They already have a space for it. It's available to people. Most of
Yeah,
the
I mean, it
time,
works in any space.
and IT set it up to work with. However it works,
By the way, this is why we wanted us in the same building as all the conference rooms. It's exactly this issue.
right? Right.
So it wouldn't save you any money on videographers then?
It could,
It could.
it could. It could, if
It's just,
committees were willing to do that without a videographer there, yes.
so why don't we just get one, experiment? We're trying to get a committee.
But
to
then
use it.
I can see
But the
someone
town
saying, well,
Offers it to committees who want to
They-
use it.
they want someone there for technical
Well,
assistance.
we can't have it unless they can use it, learn,
Yeah,
you know,
I know what you're saying.
grown people.
I mean,
Only
it's
it's-
it's already there, why would we buy one?
10-year-old teachers.
Because they
that
have
do
to
it.
set up.
And where would it be constantly set up for people to use?
It could be put wherever it needs to be put. The whole point of it is you
It's
stand it in the
portable.
middle of a conference room table. and
It's
it-
gotta be connected to one of the Zoom accounts with the town. I think there's a lot more IT involved in setting up the owl.
Could I ask you to just check to see what the feasibility of us owning one? Is it,
Yeah,
is that something just to look into?
Could we take over the one from the town? Is it gathering dust or is it
It's been
No.
used.
being used?
She said there's a couple committees, but just to find out. Cause I see what Steve wants, he wants to be able to say, like, we could just take it, put it here, click the button, and you're connected and you go.
Right,
I think there's a lot more involved than just doing that.
there's a lot more involved. IT has to set it up onto the network.
And the school and
And
the town
the
network
school
is
and the
already has
town.
enough issues.
oh,
And
does it? Oh, that's not.
it has to have, it has to use,
Money bring-
it has to use a town Zoom account, and there are only 3. So that's already set up over at the Ritter.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not trying to say don't do the Ritter.
Mm.
I'm trying to say, get one that we know how to set up and use in any conference room anywhere in the town's networks. That's all I
I
was
mean, that
asking.
would be ideal.
But I think what I'm hearing back from other folks is it's not a real plug and play kind of thing. So it sits in the room and it's in the room as a permanent fixture as opposed to bringing around to.
That's why I asked.
That,
you just-
that's,
Let us look into it. Is
Yes,
okay.
that okay?
I'll
Yeah.
talk to Dan and IT.
Unfortunately, Tom doesn't work for them anymore. Tom Cotton, somebody at church. Because we used one for a church retreat one time.
How are they?
This was fine, but Tom was one of the engineers on the project.
So I mean, I'm just saying, is it better than the Zoom?
He borrowed one, brought it in, we're in a hotel
I think there's more involved.
in Booth Bay Harbor.
Mhm.
On Zoom with somebody coming in from
Yeah,
Canada.
it's not a
And
top
it
on a
worked.
table.
You said Harbor.
20 years from now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm thinking of-
Not allowed to say Harbor?
Harbor.
School.
You said the Harbor.
Infrastructure
You don't like the mayor, yeah?
town
Booth
infrastructure.
Bay
Major,
Harbor.
that's-
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Joe,
Trying to
let's,
be there for you.
Let's look into it.
let's look into it. We're not-
Okay. Okay.
Do you have anything else, Joe?
I will be out on vacation next Tuesday through Friday, so.
Should we have a motion on that?
Well, I'm still, I'll have my cell phone and I may have my computer with me,
I
so.
like that, that's good.
Um,
Good. Don't commit to
If you have any
anything.
questions,
No,
call me.
no, we know how it works and we appreciate what you
Yes.
do.
Have a
Even
good
when you're on
vacation.
vacation, so thank you.
Okay, no, there's one thing. In the financials, the ending balance for the month is off by $450. It was not off last month, so instead of 997,314, it should be 996 something.
Nice.
Yeah. I brought it to the financial director today. He could not find it. He didn't know why it was off 450. I looked everywhere for it. So we're still working it, figuring out what is off.
Okay,
It looks like an expense of some kind.
That did not get logged onto.
That
the-
did not get put up, but
So it's-
last month,
It's not in our favor, it's against us.
last month, the numbers were absolutely correct, so I keep looking in this month, but, I've scoured the report several times, but he's gonna keep looking for it as well, so there is a $400, it should be $400 less. 450.
and just so people are still aware, we still don't have resolution on return of indirect costs that were taken in FY 23.
Right,
So there's still wandering around.
but it has nothing to do with this,
No, but it means that the number that we have here
yeah.
is lower than it should be, because that is a return to us, as I recall, around about 20,000 when we did the calculation. Well, we've talked to the financial director about it. He's aware of it,
Mhm.
not yet resolved. That's all I wanted to have.
Right, right. Yeah, and with that, I am done.
Thank you, Joe.
Good luck as always.
Yes, I appreciate
Thank you.
it. We have town meeting presentation on here.
I put it in because I
Oh,
didn't
just
know
in
if you
case.
wanted to
Okay.
say that I presented it to the finance board.
Okay, I presented it to, sorry, what was it?
You presented it to the finance board
To
and
the
all
finance
that,
board.
and you're all set to do the town meeting. Is that, I didn't know if you wanted to make a comment.
No, I did present it. It's in my back pocket. I'm desperately hopeful that we're on the consent calendar. Because I believe there'll be enough people there with other agendas wanting to use all the time. I also hope we are early enough in the process.
I'm thinking about scheduling shifts. That's,
Oh, really?
I just can't ask someone to be there from 8 in the morning till,
Midnight?
No, you get the National Labor Relations Board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can talk to my wife if you need someone just to hold the camera.
yeah, I have to figure it out.
Send me an email.
Mhm.
Share it with the meeting, please.
Oh, if you need an extra hand at the town meeting, I would be more than happy to point a
Okay.
camera.
Okay,
Just text me
okay,
that you wanna do it now. Ask Carol when, you know,
Okay.
I'll make sure it's okay,
okay,
because she's gonna be presenting and all that.
yeah, okay,
Because I can point a camera as well, you know. That's a real emergency if you want to use it, but I'm there.
I was just at Symphony Hall pointing cameras.
oh, wow,
Yes.
H74S 34. I still haven't finished that letter. I forgot about it. So
yeah,
Can we resolve that tomorrow between us?
yes,
Um,
yes,
My understanding of what Heather was looking for was for us to write a letter that she would send to.
I think you're
Scarsdale.
correct, and I wrote it from our perspective.
Well, I didn't know if it was meant to be written from our perspective, but she would send it. My inclination was actually to write it from our perspective, but have her signature on it as well. So that's what I want to try and resolve, and then I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I'm
And see if we
available
can-
tomorrow, so,
Super.
Yeah.
Just little postscript to that, the Representative Scarsdale was at the Adult Activity Center last Monday for a presentation given by Jack Rabbit regarding all kinds of things to do with assessment and
Don't like that.
maintenance, et cetera. But she made a presentation as well, and she talked about 874.
Oh, she did?
Mentioned
Positively.
it. Yeah, oh yeah, it needs support, yeah, so she's already on board. Get the letter to her would be an official.
yeah, I promised the letter to her when we first drafted it, but it's been delayed, so
Mhm.
it'll be there by, April 8th is the deadline.
Right,
Although they can pull a vote anytime before then if they want to,
okay, but it's
so the sooner
Also,
the
what-
better.
David Gauthier, is that how you
Yeah,
pronounce
David
it? He's
Gauthier.
from Mass Access, in fact, he's the chief of Mass Access.
Yeah,
He was saying that it's coming together well at the moment, and even if it's not done, it could still get carried further on,
yeah,
rather than it getting killed, which is what happens when they send it to committee.
Right,
Right.
it dies in committee, so these are Massachusetts legislature.
Yes,
yeah.
this is only a Massachusetts issue at this point.
Now, didn't they want a PSA also?
That's what Joe talked about.
Yeah, I created one, Eric, I shouldn't say I created it, I did the editing, but, Eric and I got interviews at the town caucus. Pete is the opener for the video,
Is he in
Preach to
favor
the
or not?
choir. Choir to the preacher.
and, Yeah, I'm gonna email after the meeting, I'll email the letter to you.
Yeah.
all.
I bet you did.
Okay, meanwhile, back at the ranch, anything further on H74? Hearing nothing, here's the status of the enterprise fund. I have not a clue where it stands because we don't get it till well into the month after the quarter.
Shouldn't we have the one, the most current one?
We should, well, the quarter ended 31st of March,
Yeah,
So we already went over the
well
one.
into the month after the quarter. So sometime middle to late April is when I shall get the statement for the first quarter of this year.
oh, so it's done quarterly, not monthly.
Oh, yeah,
So you'll have it next meeting. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that I would
it.
hope.
Update us, okay?
Speaking of that, we have not received any interest in our account since December.
Really?
Yeah,
What'd you come?
in our
Mhm.
enterprise fund.
Yeah, there's still about 250,000 in the
Yeah.
enterprise fund that's not invested,
Oh,
but it should earn interest in whatever.
I thought the enterprise fund was the bond.
yeah,
No, we only did 3/4 of it.
Is that also called enterprise fund or is that something?
No.
It's an investment of the enterprise fund.
Okay.
It should be.
Investment status, I see, okay, yeah.
So it's the enterprise fund money, that's where we keep it, is in interest bearing bonds for 3/4 of it.
And the other quarter is
The other quarter is-
interest bearing savings account,
Well, that's whatever the town does with it, we're not involved with that.
but you should be getting interest on it,
We should be getting interest in fact,
which would help.
each month. In fact, I should, I can go to their treasurer's office tomorrow and find out what's the deal is. They,
Take Steve and a 2x4 with you.
But that interest, I understand we don't touch the bond interest, but the interest from the enterprise fund, is that also outside of the operating budget?
No, let's try and clarify it.
yeah,
That interest is income.
Yes, okay,
We get other income, which is our franchise fee.
yes,
They're really the only two incomes we have
correct,
that we can use for operations.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
the money that is interest off the bonds is in
untouchable.
the
Yeah.
monies that we are holding ready for our new studio.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
it's outside of the budget, right?
but it's still in the enterprise fund.
Yes. Got it,
So it was not included as part of our usable income,
yes.
although it was in the presentation, so good for me. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I am
to
waiting
adjourn.
desperately for somebody to say,
I did, move to adjourn.
second,
7:05,
no discussion?
no.
none
course not.
needed.
No, none allowed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We're meeting next May 6th.
Yes.